everyone, welcome back to my classes. So yesterday we have already uploaded your types of motion, and now only a small difference table regarding your mass and weight and the numerical part is remaining that we are going to complete in this session. So today in our class we will be discussing the difference table of mass and weight and also the numericals of your second chapter. Now let us see what is the difference between mass and weight. Now I have already seen what is the definition for mass and weight in your smaller classes. Even then the first difference, let us see once again what is the definition. Mass, you have already defined it as the quantity of matter in a body, whereas weight you have learned that it is the force by which the earth attracts it towards the center. So that is all about the definition for mass and weight. Now whenever we learn about the difference table, first thing whatever we used to write will be the definition of each term. That is what we have done here also. Now the second point here is mass is a scalar quantity whereas weight is a vector quantity. Now what do you mean by scalar quantity? Quantities which is having only magnitude, you call it as scalar quantity, and one which is having both magnitude along with direction, you call it as vector quantity. Now what I have already told you in the last class, what is magnitude? For example, mass you are going to write it as 5 kg. Now in this quantity or magnitude means the numerical value whatever is given there in each physical quantity, that is what is called as the magnitude, right? Now in that way mass is going to be a scalar quantity because it is having only magnitude, but weight it is given as a vector quantity because it is having both magnitude and direction. Now coming to the third difference, mass of a body is constant everywhere in the universe, whereas weight of a body will changes from place to place and even it can be zero, right? Now, mass of a body is constant means wherever you go, that is, if from one place to another, or you go to another planet or a satellite, wherever you go, whatever is the mass of the body, it is never going to change. But your weight will change accordingly wherever you go, because weight always depends upon the gravity from the definition itself. So you know that value of gravity changes from place to place. So accordingly weight of an object will also change from place to place. Now mass of a body is given by the force per unit area, whereas weight is given by mass into g, where g is your acceleration due to gravity, and you are having a value for that. G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Clear? Now the way you are measuring. So when you have learned about the measuring techniques, this already you have learned. Mass you can measure it using a ordinary beam balance, whereas weight of a body you can measure it using a spring balance. Right? Now coming to the last difference, that is with regard to your SI unit. SI unit of mass is in kilogram, whereas the SI unit of weight is going to be in Newton. Clear? So this is all about the difference table between mass and weight. Now let us come to the numerical part of your chapter 2. Now here starts your numerical questions. First question, car covers a distance of 160 km between two cities in 4 hours, and you have to find out the average speed of the car. Now distance is given, time is given, it is in kilometer an hour itself, so it is in unit, standard unit, and then here you have to find out the speed. You already know that speed is equal to distance upon time. Direct equation, substitute the values and find out the answer. Clear? Now your second question, it is given a train travels a distance of 300 km with an average speed of 60 km per hour. How much time does it take to cover the distance? Here also distance is in kilometer, speed is in kilometer per hour itself, so no need to change anything. Now speed is given, distance is given, you have to find out the time taken. You know the equation for speed is distance by time, and from that when you take time, it will be time taken will be equal to distance covered by speed. Both the values of distance and speed you are having, just substitute and find out the answer. Now coming to question number 3. Now in your question number 3, a boy travels with an average speed of 10 meter per second for 20 minutes. You have to find out the distance traveled. Now when you come to this question, you can see that the speed is in meter per second. Time is given in minutes. So you have to convert this time to second, and then only you have to start with your numericals. Now keeping that in mind, average speed is given 10 meter per second. Time taken is given to be 20 minutes. That 20 minutes you first convert it to second, and then you go for your equation. That is already speed is equal to distance upon time. From that equation, distance traveled will be d is equal to speed into time. Now speed you are having, time you have converted it into seconds. Substitute the values and find out the answer. Now at last, if you want, it is not necessary you have to convert it to kilometer, since in the question nothing is specified. If you want, you can convert it to kilometer also. Now always remember, before you start with your numericals, whatever conversion factors given in your textbook and we have learned, make it thorough and then only start with your numericals, else when you comes with the conversion it will be difficult for you. Now coming to question number 4. Question number 4, a boy walks a distance of 30 meter in 1 minute, another 30 minute in 1.5 minute. Describe the type of motion and find its average speed in meter per second. So that is the question given. Now in this question you are having 2 parts. You have to describe what is the type of motion also, and you have to find the average speed in meter per second itself. It is specified. Clear? Now when you come to the question again, to find out in meter per second, distance already it is in meter, but time is given in minute. This time you have to convert it to second first, and then only you have to solve the question. Now when you read the question itself, see the distance remains the same, right? 30 meter. But the time is not the same. First it is 1 minute and second it is 1.5 minute. So the type of motion will be non-uniform. If it was uniform, both distance and time should be the same. So distance is the same, time is different, then non-uniform motion, not a uniform motion. So that is the answer to your first question, right? Now coming to your second part, you have to find out the average speed in meter per second. Now distance already in meter I told you, but time is in minute. You have to convert it to seconds. Clear? Now average speed, you have already learned that is the total distance travelled upon total time taken. So as per your equation, first you have to find out the total distance. Total distance will be 30 plus 30, and total time will be 1 minute plus 1.5 minute, total 2.5 minute you will get. As I told you in the question, it is specified you have to find it in seconds, so that 2.5 minute you have to convert it to seconds. Now you have the total distance 60 meter and total time to be 150 seconds. So directly apply in the equation, you will get the answer in meter per second itself. Clear? Now coming to your question number 5. Now in your question number 5, you can see that it is given a cyclist travels in a distance of 1 kilometer in the first 1 hour, 0.5 kilometer in the second hour, and 0.3 kilometer in the third hour. You have to find the average speed in kilometer per hour also, meter per second also. Now in the question, all the units are given in kilometer and hour. So when you find out the average speed, the first answer directly it will be in kilometer per hour itself, and the last answer you have to convert again to meter per second to find out it in the second part of your question. Now let's see how we are going to do it. Now already you know that the average speed means it is the total distance travelled upon total time taken. Now for that, first you have to find out what is the distance. See, 3 cases are given here, right? So you have to first find out, see, when the distance in each case, and then add it together. Time you have to calculate, add it together, total distance and total time you will get. Just apply it directly in your equation, you will get the answer. Clear? Now once you get your answer in kilometer per hour, see here you can see a lot of steps are being done. This is just for you to understand how each conversion is being done, but for your exam no need to do this much. What you can do is that once you have already, that we have already discussed when we have learned the chapter motion, how to convert it from kilometer per hour to meter per second and vice versa also. To convert it from kilometer per hour to meter per second, just you have to multiply the answer with 5 by 18. So in one step you can calculate the answer like this. No need for solving this much. Directly you can find out the answer for second part, that is to convert it to meter per second. Just multiply it with 5 by 18. So we have seen a number of questions with average speed. Question number 6 is also related with your average speed. So this question already answer is here, that you can solve it by yourself as a homework. Try to do it by yourself, and if you are having any doubt you can come back to this question. Answer is given here, you can recheck with that. Clear? Now you are coming to your question number 7. In question number 7, it is given that weight of a body of mass 1 kilogram is 10 Newton. If so, what will be the weight of the body of mass 37 kilogram in kilogram also, and also in Newton? Clear? Now already it is given, if mass, for mass it is 1 kg, it in Newton it will be 10, that is 1 kg is equivalent to 10 Newton, that is given. So automatically first part of your question in kg itself, since it is 1 kg, 37 kg will be equivalent to 37 kg itself. Now second part of your question, it is given 1 kgf is equal to 10 Newton. So if 1 kilogram of mass is equal to 10 Newton, then automatically 37 kilogram of mass will be equal to 37 into 10 Newton. That is a simple mathematical question that you can do it. Now coming to your last question of your chapter, the weight of a body of mass 6 kilogram on moon is 10 Newton. If a body of mass 30 kilogram goes from earth to moon, what will be his mass and what will be his weight? So this is something which you have to think. What about the first question? What is the mass of the boy when he is going from earth to moon? So when the difference table, very much we have specified that wherever you go, mass will never change. Whether it be another planet, satellite, or wherever it is, mass will always remains the same. So mass of the boy will be equal to 6 kilogram itself, no change for that. Now coming to your second part. When you come to your second part, if the boy of 6 kilogram goes from earth to moon, then there you are having a relation, that is, what will be, if the weight of an object on an earth is given, weight of a boy on or whatever object on moon will be equal to 1 by 6 time of whatever weight you are having on earth. That is, if Wm is going to be the weight on moon and We is going to be the weight on earth, the equation or the relation you are having in your text is like this, that is, weight on moon will be equal to 1 by 6 of your weight on earth. So you can use this equation to find out the weight of a boy in moon. Clear? So with this we have come to an end to your second chapter. Now for your homework, solve all the numericals in your fair copy and do the homework. One numerical I have given to you in between, question number 6, and then complete your work and be prepared for your revision test. With this we are winding up today's portion. Thank you.